The difference between a poor man, middle class man, and a wealthy man are access to information, use of said information, and discipline or lack thereof. In regards to information, you can't learn while you're talking. I find that's the biggest problem with young people. Hey, good morning. I find that's the biggest issue with folks in this generation, but I've seen it with people in my generation and even older too, because there's such thing as an old fool and a young fool. However, the difference in a wealthy man and a poor man is information, access to information, use of that information, and discipline. You can't get the information if you're talking while someone's talking to you. A long time ago, one of my cousins, he's a retired military guy now. He works for the federal government, very successful man. In a very blunt way, because we're family. I was a teenager. I can't remember the exact age. But he was trying to give me some information. And he was talking and I was talking. And he said, "Hey, shut the F up and listen." And at first, initially, no, I wasn't really offended because that's my big cousin and my father taught me to be logical. And can y'all jokers be quiet? I'm trying to film. Some of my young men I'm mentoring are having a conversation. They're good kids, though. Pardon me. Anyhow. So he told me, "Hey, you need to be quiet and listen. I'm trying to give you some information that's going to help you." I kept that with me, and I've learned when people know something, whether they're more qualified, whether they're more knowledgeable, whether or not, maybe they just have good insight for that moment. Because even as an adult, you can learn from children too. They have experiences, they understand certain things. You have to know how to analyze information for what's real and what's not. You also have to take into consideration if somebody is taking their time to give you information, especially if it's someone who's been where you're going or where you're trying to go. Be quiet and listen, because they could easily not be talking to you and they could be giving that valuable information to somebody else, or they could just be taking their own information, keeping it for themselves, and making themselves more successful with that information. Now, the Bible says that fools despise wisdom and knowledge. I think that goes without saying, but there's actually something wrong with someone who refuses to learn. And like I said, I've met some children like that, and I've met some adults like that. I'm not quite sure what transpired in those adults' lives that made them decide to go along that path. But whatever the case may be, once you hit a certain age, because humans are habit-forming creatures. Once you hit a certain age, you are who you're going to be, save some type of supernatural intervention from Yahweh, God. That's the God of the Bible. That's what I believe. You choose to believe what you choose. I'm not imposing my beliefs on you. But other than some type of supernatural act, you will not change an adult's mind. That person won't change. And that's another thing. When you are trying to give knowledge, wisdom, and information, and a joker won't listen, stop talking. Don't try to change people. Don't try to force people. Be more productive with your time. And speaking of productivity, you'll hear that word a lot on this channel. Speaking of productivity, when you have time, number one of the most productive things you can do is to gather information. However, you also have to manage your time and act on that information. We'll talk about that later. But to recap, value knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. When people are giving you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, be quiet so they can give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Verify, do your own research, but once you have good information, act on it. Be productive with your time and use that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Go be great and successful. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your time. My kid over here clapping. Boy, I tell you, these kids got jokes, but I love them. I really do. I love what I do, and I love these children. Y'all have a good one.